This year, the mantra for the boys is learn with passion, succeed on purpose. And just so everybody knows, it will never be here, madam. It is always here, sir, because people answer. We answer to the call of Calabar. I am a person who has a passion for teaching, passion for administration. It has long been a focal point of my enthusiasm and dedication to mold young minds, mentor, teach. And to date, I have had over 7 years of administrative experience. It's probably a little bit more than 7 because I actually started as grade supervisor from 2005 and then went on to 2016-2017 to become vice principal and then acting principal to be appointed now. So I've been in administration at different levels for a while. So I have long wanted to serve in a collaborative environment, an environment that is healthy, an environment that is supportive, an environment that focuses on holistic development of both staff and students. I started at Arden High School, and ever since I've been at Arden High School, I've always been a Calabar girl, always. Quite a number of the Calabar old boys are my contemporaries. Being at Arden, living in the Kingston 20 area, quite a number of them went to Calabar, and going to boys' champs from back in the day or any other sporting activity. I'd be a Calabar supporter. I remember the days at champs where we used to sit down underneath the Jamaica sign. And, we'd watch all of them from Daniel England down, because these were the persons that were, that was carrying the green and black flag at the time in the sporting arena. So I've always supported Calabar and the Arden Key Club. At the time when I was in school in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, were very close. And so we did a lot of community projects together. And I know Calabar's pool because I was fortunate enough to swim in it. I don't know if I could swim at that time, but go in the water. And because after our projects and stuff, we would hang out there and we'd have little socials around it and so on. I would admit that I was a little disappointed when I came to Calabar in 1995 and saw that, the pool was no longer up and running and functioning. But in any way, be that as it may, I have always been. Never entered the gates of Calabar thinking that I would be here today. I thought I was just going to come in for 2 years. And then after 2 years, like everybody else, I would move on. But the rest, they say, is history. I went to Church Teachers College after Arden. And I became a trained teacher in business social studies. And I came straight to Calabar right outside of college. I started as a teacher of business, accounts, principles of business, office practice, econ, MOB, all of that. And I taught all the way up to 2016. Around 2005, I became the grade 11 coordinator. And those of you who know that, you manage the discipline at that level, looking at strategies for behavior modification, you interact or liaise with parents and other members of staff. You're responsible for CSEC registration, all of that. But one thing that Calabar has always afforded me as a subsequent administrator is the autonomy to be creative, the autonomy. It allowed me some autonomy, so creativity to come up, to implement programs, policies. I have always had people at Calabar, the VPs of the time, my models were people like Mrs. Olive Davis, Mrs. Tuller Reed, Mrs. Frater, Audrey Frater. I remember those people. Miss Williams was the head of the English department at the time. I remember Miss Johnston. The boys used to famously call her Jabba, but she was a tower of strength. I remember those ladies, Mrs. Janet Manning. I remember Miss Flavia Orr. Those ladies really taught me what it meant to be a teacher and to care for children. They encouraged me to be myself. They allowed me the space to grow. So I remember Dr. Gordon, Jennifer Gordon, may her soul rest in peace, allowed me to even come up with the school's evaluation system, which we use to date. A lot of the form letters that we now use to communicate with parents. Just different programs that we have. It's so many. I've been here for so long. It's kind of hard to itemize every single one of them. I was a staff rep to the board, and I was the person who planned everything for the teachers. Every get together, every social, every party, every major function of the school, all of that. I was integral in that. But as I excelled and as I moved up in leadership, there are quite a number of other things that I did. And let us say, when I was vice principal, I was very instrumental in making the grade 9 classes smaller. Notice that quite a number of when the boys come over to grade 9, the classes are so large. They are so, at that age, they are so distracted. And it's difficult for the teachers. And I wondered to myself, how is it that I could make this a little bit better? I couldn't do it for every subject because some departments are much larger than others. But we were able to do things like implemented a system where we had 2 classes to 3 teachers. So that ultimately made some of the class sizes smaller. It is interesting to note that even though I was doing the lower school for many years, there was a stint in there between 2011 and 2012 where I was the upper school vice principal. And during those years, I did things like, the school calendar of activities. I designed and instituted the teacher calendar of activities. I managed the process for substituting teachers. I implemented and coordinated teacher rosters for late initiative, canteen duty, teacher co-curricular committees. I did registration for CSEC and CAPE. I assisted with academic staff, recruitment, coaching, training. During that time, I was in charge of about 800 students, 5 coordinators, 21 form teachers, monitoring disciplinary systems, curriculum, oversight, all of that. So all of that, those things are similar to what I did as a lower school vice principal. In the lower school, I'm in charge of over 900 students. I mean, when you think about it, that's what some schools, that's a total amount of students that they actually have. What is very important to mention is that the Calabar Board of Management in 2015-2016 implemented a strategic management plan. And that strategic management plan had 7 goals that should take the school on an upward trajectory. We were affected by COVID like everybody else, and that is where we saw that we had a decline in the grades. The narrative that Calabar boys are not doing well is false. It is false. The school has been doing well. Is there room for improvement? For sure. Can we do better in terms of quality grades? For sure. Yes, we can. I really want an environment that is conducive to teaching and learning, empowering, supportive, competitive, collaborative, because, we have a strong stakeholder group, by way of the Calabar Old Boys and, of course, parents. I want the school to be child-friendly. And I want the school to be student-centered. So the question really is, how do we want to achieve that? So we have to look at everything in the school. You want to look at the environment. You want to look at how students progress from grade 7 to grade 11. You want to look at character building, certain skills, critical thinking, problem solving. You want them to be active participants in their own learning. You want to work on staff morale, staff recognition, maintain a team atmosphere. You want to have collaborative partnerships with the colleagues, with the parents, with the alumni. I know the narrative that has been going on there, but I want to state for the record that the Calabar Old Boys have been very supportive. A few may have their opinions, and that is okay. Everyone is entitled to their opinions, and we will have to live with that. But I want to say that the Calabar Old Boys, all the fraternities, stakeholder groups, the diaspora groups, those in Jamaica, those who are my contemporaries, those who are my friends, those who have been working closely with the school, have pledged their support from day one. And I want to make that clear. Parents themselves too have. So there may be a few persons who have some strong opinions on what they think should and should not happen. But I want to pay special homage to my school board. They have been extremely supportive. They have guided me. I have worked at this school for so long, and many persons within the Jamaica Baptist Union who worked with the board has been instrumental in my growth, my professional growth and development throughout the years, because this is where I have spent all of my professional years. So we have a mission. I am tasked with meeting those goals, I don't want to ever lose sight of the fact that the student is the number one objective. And anyone who is going to be working with Calabar in support of this administration must remember that. We want to reignite that passion about doing well. And so as a result of reigniting that passion, then it means that success is going to follow. So that is where we are. What we ask for as school leadership is for all the support that we can get. Calabar Old Boys have pledged their support. They have always been extremely supportive of the school in every single way, from infrastructure to scholarships to welfare programs to sports to other academic initiatives. They have been driving a lot of it. And they have pledged to continue. Yes, the parents have also pledged their support in any way that they can. Many have come forward already to ask what is it that they can do, especially some of our newest parents are the students who are in grade 7, and they are already galvanizing themselves to assist. The fathers, I want to also thank the fathers for the boys who have pledged their support to help the administration in managing the affairs. Calabar mentorship is back on board, and so they are set to start towards the middle or the end of September. So Calabar is open for business. I've never been closed, but we are 112 years strong, and we are moving. We're going to continue moving in that direction, the utmost for the highest. And just so everybody knows, it will never be here, madam. It is always here, sir, because people answer. We answer to the call of Calabar.